Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and the future is bright. I was originally going to put these last month of the season recaps for both teams in the same video, be it the IceHogs and the Blackhawks, but I decided to break it up so you could decide which one you wanted to watch, or if you want to watch both, you can do that as well. I posted the Blackhawks one earlier today, so you can go check that video out. But it isn't just the final month of the season for the Blackhawks, it also is for the IceHogs. But before we get to where the IceHogs are at this point in the season, let's talk about the game tonight for a minute. The IceHogs were in Grand Rapids to take on the Griffins, and they walked away with a shootout win. Matt Tomkins was in net. Your shootout heroes were Tim Soderlund and Cody Franson. I was probably as surprised that Cody Franson was out there shooting second for the Hogs as Joey Z was on the broadcast, but Coach King must have known what he was doing there because he rifled one right past the goaltender, and then Matt Tomkins stopped the next shot, and that gave the IceHogs the win. But oh my goodness, can we just talk about that goal that Tim Soderlund put in first in the shootout? Oh my goodness. So I've said a few times in these videos that he needs to stop trying to be Patrick Kane by holding on to the puck in the offensive zone, just taking it for laps and not really passing it or shooting it. Usually ends up turning it over in the process. We've seen that a lot from Patrick Kane throughout his career, and now Tim Soderlund is doing the same. But when it comes to the shootout, and Patrick Kane used to be really good at scoring in the shootouts. This year, he doesn't have a shootout goal, and he's had some very bad attempts. But Tim Soderlund is channeling prime shootout Patrick Kane, and wow. I put up a GIF of it over on our Twitter account, so you can go check that out. I'm sure it's also on YouTube. You could look up the highlights there as well. The IceHogs do post highlights from every game over on their channel, so if you want to see highlights from the whole game, go over and visit their channel and check out the highlight video. But oh my, it was pretty. But that's how the game ended. How did they get there? Well, I can't really tell you from watching it because we had a quote-unquote storm come through Rockford this evening, and by storm I mean rain. It said it was supposed to storm. I did not hear one thing of thunder. I did not see one bolt of lightning. There was just a lot of rain, but it took out my power for a little while, and that happened to be during the IceHogs and the Blackhawks games because once again they played at the exact same time because they like to make my life hard. So I didn't see any of the goals in this game except for the shootout goals because I was able to turn it back on in the third period. But I will tell you who scored them. To open up the scoring in the game, we have Evan Barratt scoring 9 minutes and 20 seconds into the first period. That was assisted by Andrei Altybarmakyan and Chad Yetman. The second goal of the game went to Chad Yetman, and that one was in the second period. That one assisted by Evan Barratt and Andrei Altybarmakyan. So all three guys factored in on both goals scored in regulation. That's pretty funny. And then Chase Pearson scored 2 goals for Grand Rapids in around 2 minutes. So that made the game 2-2 with the second period winding down. They had to go into the third period. No goals were scored. It went to overtime. That was a very back and forth period. Both teams had great chances. Grand Rapids hit the post in overtime, I think twice. Matt Tomkins came up with some big stops. Grand Rapids goaltender came up with some big stops. Isaac freaking Phillips. It looked like Grand Rapids was going to have a breakaway. He started moving his feet, caught up with the guy, met him in front of the net, shoved him over. He didn't even get a shot off, and it was beautiful. There's also a GIF of that over on our Twitter account. All of the links to our social medias are down in the description, by the way. But I just love this kid. He is so fun to watch. Do not sleep on him. If the Blackhawks have any sense, they will call him up for these last 4 games and just give him a shot. He's more than earned it with his play in Rockford this year. But that was tonight's game. Unfortunately, the IceHogs went 0 for 2 on the power play, but they did go 50% on the penalty kill, so there's that, I guess. It's better than 0%. But all that matters in the end is that the IceHogs walked away victorious. Because that has not always been the story of the 2020-2021 Rockford IceHogs. So let's talk about the season a little bit, shall we? Once this game had concluded, the IceHogs had 27 games in the book. They have a record of 11-15-1-0 for 23 points. So like I said, walking away victorious has not always been the story of the season. They do still sit last in the division. It is what it is. If they play well for their remaining games, maybe they pass the Texas Stars, but maybe not. It doesn't really matter. They're not playing for anything. There's no postseason this year. I mean, the Western Division is having some sort of playoff-like structure to determine the winner of their division, but every other division is just giving away a trophy or award for the top points percentage getter, which is likely going to be the Chicago Wolves. But the IceHogs do still have 5 games left. They have 2 this weekend against the Iowa Wild. You can catch those on Friday and Sunday. And then to round out the season, how else would they do it but 3 games against the Chicago Wolves? Because of course, it's always the Wolves. They always play the Chicago Wolves. Always, forever and ever, the Chicago Wolves. At least the season of the two-headed monster is almost complete, and then we will just go back to having the Wolves and the Admirals, and I can dislike 2 teams instead of one big two-headed monster that just barrels through everybody. But that's a whole different story. So like I said, they end the season with 3 straight games against the Chicago Wolves and the final 2 games of the season, because how else would it end, is a back-to-back on the 14th and 15th of this month. And by that time, the Blackhawks will be done playing, so if you want to tune in and see the prospects, you can go ahead and watch those on AHL TV. It's pretty cheap for the rest of the season. You might as well jump on it. You can prolong the season a little bit for yourself, and the IceHogs are a lot more fun to watch lately, trust me. So now that you know how the season has gone, and you know how the season is going to go from here on out, let's take a look at the point leaders for the IceHogs. In slot number 1, we have Dylan McLaughlin. In 23 games played, he's got 7 goals and 12 assists for 19 points. He is tied for the team high in goals with a guy who's a couple of slots down. In spot number 2, we have Cody Franson. He's just been plain steady this whole season. It's been great having him back in Rockford. He's been like a player coach on the ice. It's been great for our young defenders. It's just been very good having him back. But in 24 games played, he has 4 goals and 13 assists for 17 points. In slot number 3, we have Evan Barratt, goal scorer and assist getter from tonight's game. In 26 games played, he's got 5 goals and 9 assists for 14 points. In the 4th spot, we have Chris Wilkie, one of the biggest surprises out of this season. In 18 games played, he has tied the team high in goals with 7, and he's also added 5 assists for a total of 12 points. 12 points in 18 games, not too bad. And in the 5th slot, we have MacKenzie Entwistle. In 22 games played, he has 4 goals and 8 assists for 12 points. He was not playing in tonight's game because he was called up to the taxi squad. We don't like the taxi squad around here. But anyway, I have some honorable mentions down here for you as well. In spot number 6, we have Andrei Altybarmakyan. In 24 games played, he has 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points. His point totals really don't tell the tale of his season. I know Blackhawks fans have been very curious about him. I've been asked about him a bunch. He just looks like a very solid player. I don't know if he needed this year to get used to the North American ice or just getting used to playing in the American Hockey League. Either way, I'm pretty sure he will have a better season numbers-wise next year. And then we have my boy Isaac Phillips. He is 12th on the team in scoring. In 23 games, he's got 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points, but his point totals really aren't what matter the most, although he is very fun to watch offensively. He's got a bomb of a shot from the blue line. But it's been so interesting and so fun to watch his defensive game improve throughout the season. He's gotten really good at battling guys in the corners, and he's usually the one that walks away from those battles with the puck and breaks it out of their defensive zone to get the IceHogs attackers going the other direction. He's started using his body more as the season has gone on. He's not afraid to throw the body around, but he's not a guy who's going to be laying huge hits all over the ice. He's not like a Nikita Zadorov or what people want Nikita Zadorov to be. He's just a very steady defender. better. And he, along with all of the other young defenders on this team, have gotten a lot better at getting their sticks on pucks when the attackers from the other team are trying to enter the defensive zone. That's been one thing super noticeable over the last few weeks of watching IceHogs games, was it's been a lot more difficult for opponents to enter their zone, whether they just get their bodies in the way, they get their sticks in the way, whatever way they do it, it's been a lot more difficult, and that's how you've seen the scoring being cut down. And they're not allowing as many shots against, which is always nice too. But Isaac Phillips, I don't know what more I can say about this kid. I've been singing his praises all season. If you've been watching the IceHogs, he's probably stuck out to you as well. If you've only been watching the Blackhawks, go back and watch some highlights from the season. Like I said, they post them on the Rockford IceHogs YouTube channel, or just wait till he gets called up to the Blackhawks, because I'm sure it won't be too long. In the 13th spot, we have Josiah Slavin. He joined the team late because he was playing hockey in college. So once his college season ended, he came over, joined the IceHogs, and he's played 10 games so far. In those 10 games, he has 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. So 6 points in 10 games, I will take that. And he's also been a guy that's just looked very solid every time he's out there on the ice. He seems to always make things happen, whether it's chances for himself, chances for his line mates. He's just been very impressive all around in his 10 games. So those are the skaters for the IceHogs. Now let's take a look at the goaltenders. We'll start with just the goalies who have played the most games. I'm only going to talk about 3, being Matt Tomkins, Cale Morris, and Ivan Nalimov. We also had Colin Delia come down on a conditioning stint. We had Scott Darling play 1 game. But I'll just talk about the main 3. So, Matty Tomkins, he has played in 12 games this year. He's got a record of 4-7-1. He has a 3.25 goals against average and a .904 save percentage. Next up, Cale Morris. Cale has played 7 games this year, and now he is out injured because, of course, he is. Seems like whenever a guy's having a good year, an injury just pops up. But through his 7 games, he is 2-3-0. He has a 2.52 goals against average and a .923 save percentage. He's been very good when called upon, and it's been fun to watch him. I love watching rookie goaltenders come through. You've never seen them play before. You get to see their different play styles, see what they look like under pressure, and Cale Morris has been very impressive. And then we have Ivan Nalimov. If you recall, after Nalimov's first game, I was done. I gave up on this kid early, and then I said maybe I should give him another chance. It was his first game over here, and he's put together some very solid games as of late. So I was wrong after the first game. I was right in saying I should give him another chance. I still don't completely trust him because he has a very interesting style, or he's always falling on his stomach. But credit where credit is due, he has played very well as of late. He has 5 games for the IceHogs. He is 3-2-0. So he is the only goaltender with a winning record on the team. But he has a .343 goals against average and an .885 save percentage. Goaltenders don't make sense. But those are your 3 main goaltenders for the IceHogs this year. It's been very interesting watching the goalie rotation, and I am very curious what the blue paint's gonna look like next year. But now that we have the schedule, some stats for the skaters and the goaltenders, let's go over some things that have improved, because the IceHogs season started out very badly. In more games than not, they just did not look good at all. But as the season has gone on, and especially lately, the Hawks have looked pretty good. They're not always picking up the win, but they're competitive in each and every game. And some of them are just games where the bounces don't go their way, but the outcome really could have gone either way, because hockey is a game of inches. You never really know. But like I've already touched on, the defense has massively improved, especially on zone entries. Like I said, they're getting sticks on pucks. They're getting their own bodies in the way. They're winning more board battles. They're blocking shots. They're trying to keep shots to the outside so their goaltenders have an easier time. Who would have thought that was a winning strategy? Not me. I don't know what you're talking about. But they've also improved on the offensive side of the game as well, because they are getting more shots at the net finally. It only took them 2/3 of the season to get there, but they finally got there. They are getting shots at the net. They are getting traffic in front of the goaltenders. They are picking up some second chances, banging in some of those rebounds, following up their own shot. They don't do it every game. They don't do it consistently, but they are doing it a lot more than what we saw at the beginning of the season, because at the beginning of the season it was 0 times out of however many shots that they were taking, which weren't very many, that they would follow up their shot, get that second chance, or bang in a rebound. So it's been good to see them getting more active around the other goaltender. They've also gotten better at setting up in the offensive zone on the power play. They're not converting at a clip that you would like to see, but they're getting puck movement and they're moving their feet. They look so much better than they did to start the year, and if they had a full season, they would probably start scoring on a lot more of their power plays, but it's a shortened season. What are you gonna do? The only thing you can ask for is to see improvement, and we have seen that. They are also finally playing a full game of hockey. They're not coming out in the first period and acting like they don't know when puck drop was supposed to be, or showing up very good in the first period and then disappearing for the second and maybe coming back in the third, maybe not. You just never really knew what you were gonna get with the team, but as the season has progressed, and especially lately, like I've said for a lot of these things, it looks like the IceHogs are putting in a consistent effort in each period, which is just mind-blowing because I'm not used to that this year at all. It's kind of funny how the Blackhawks started, well, they started very bad in their first few games, allowing 5 goals per game, but then they got a lot better. They were way outperforming, so they started the majority of the season playing well, and then they fell off a cliff. The IceHogs had sort of a character arc, if you will, that you would like to see. They started slow. It was a team of rookies, a team of players who have never played together. So once they started meshing, forming some chemistry, the games started getting better, they started getting some wins, and now they look like a very solid team. It just sucks that it's a shortened season. I would love to see what they could do in a full season, but again, what are you gonna do? A lot of these guys might be back next year. I don't think most of them will be making the NHL just yet because there's a lot of spots up there that are already taken, and a lot of these guys are playing their first professional year this year, so they will spend some more time in the AHL and will be able to see how their games develop over the summer with an off season coming off of their first professional year, see if they can maintain that chemistry going into next season, and see what this team can put together in a full season, hopefully. We never know what's going to happen, but can we please just have a full regular season? So all in all, things are trending very well for the IceHogs. And that's why I opened this video by saying the future is bright, because while things are not going very well in Chicago, things are going well in Rockford, and these are the Blackhawks prospects. So if they can keep developing, keep getting better, start getting positive habits in their game that could translate to the NHL game, you never know what could happen. But like I said, there's only 5 games left, and there's only 4 games left for the Blackhawks, but the Hawks season ends before the IceHogs season does, so if you want to get in on the very last part of the season and watch some of these prospects in action, definitely check out AHL TV. It's very cheap to finish out the year because there's not many games left, so you know. But if you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. You can find links to all the places where you can find us, or you can follow us on social media. The links to all of the platforms are down in the description. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, make sure to do that. If you're feeling very generous today, give this video a like. But all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, welcome to the channel. If you've been around for the whole season or a little longer, we've had the channel for a little bit now. Thank you for sticking with us through this madness of this season. We are recording another podcast episode on Thursday, so you won't have to hear from just me that time. Jacqueline will be with me. And let's just see how these 2 teams finish out this year. It will definitely be interesting. But thank you again for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you all after the next game. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or two, and while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!